Okay. Um, uh, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. If I sound tired, it's because this is our second time doing this podcast because last time Jaytech hacked into Discord and apparently dis- cut us off somehow. How did Jaytech do that? I don't know, but like he sabotaged us, so we're doing this again. Never mind the fact that we had to delay it initially for some personal reasons that I would like not to get into. But anyway, we're back now, and we're here to talk about a little strategy DolphinVi has cooked up, and that is how to beat Jaytech in debate. And he's going to be tutoring both me and you guys at home and stuff on how to beat him. And will I, and like maybe if there's enough support from people, maybe I'll actually try and go and debate Jaytech. Who knows?
It would certainly be interesting to see, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'll do it if we get 5 people commenting on it saying yes. But anyway,
You're setting yourself a
moving
bit
on.
low bar there, aren't you?
Well, we can barely get one comment on these videos most of the time. I'm blaming you guys.
Hey, we're always gonna grow.
Yeah.
It's always slow at first till later, then we get big.
Exactly. Anyway, so do you want to jump right into teaching us how to
Before that, I guess we can get to the news articles, then we can jump right into it.
Okay. I guess one interesting news article that has popped up recently is that apparently Telltale is reportedly finally ditching its old engine to make a new one. And I just say, wow, good job, Telltale. You've only had this engine for, 15 years, and you're only now doing a new one? I mean, I guess better late than never and stuff, but still. This is sort of it's sort of the equivalent of if Bethesda, came out and said, hey, guys, we're doing a new engine as well, and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure making a new engine is hard and bad and whatnot, but it's I'm an asshole consumer who's allowed to judge things, so yeah.
Yeah, that he is. Papa G's an a-hole consumer.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I'm trying to say is I'm sure it's really hard and whatnot to make a video game and to make new engines and whatnot. Yeah. It's not as easy to saying make a new engine, but it's we've had this engine for 15 years. I think it's time for a new one.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you have any thoughts on that or anything to add?
Well, I'm glad they're making a new engine, although I guess it would be easier if they just used a different one. I mean, Unreal Engine, that's pretty open. It's out there, anyone can use it.
They can always use Unity, I guess. Although Unity is I don't know, kind of 50-50 at times, from what I understand.
Unreal is more professional and easier to use.
I don't know if it's just because, maybe it's unfair.
As someone who uses Unreal, I would know.
I believe you. And there's one question is that I hear Unity gets a lot of flack a lot of the times, and I wonder if it's just because of the people who use it, or if it's because Unity is not a great engine to work with.
Well, let's trouble this. It is a okay engine. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it. It's one, it doesn't look as professional as Unreal does, and I know that's a bit of a minor gripe, but looks do matter. Aesthetics do matter. And 2, it doesn't have visual scripting built right in.
Let's see. Yeah. So it's not
which
just
in layman's terms means you've got to type a lot of code. Lots and lots and lots of code.
I think part of the bad rep Unity gets is partially due to some a lot of the asset flips that Unity has been used for, but I also feel it's sort of more deeper ingrained issues just because it's I hear people a lot of times bitch on the engine itself, people who worked with it, so and according to what you just said, it sounds that it's true, right?
What part of it is true?
No, what I mean is and stuff is that there are some inherent problems with working with Unity versus working with Unreal, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, now the pros of working with Unity that I try to think of is you can use most any asset that you buy anywhere, not even just on the Unity Asset Store, with Unreal Engine. If you buy a store in the Epic Games Marketplace, well, an asset in the Epic Games Marketplace, you can only use it in Unreal Engine. Nowhere else.
Is Unity overall a bad engine, or is it just like depends on who uses it and what for?
I wouldn't say it's a terrible engine, though there's some things about it that I would like to change. Making cutscenes, that being easier, I would like that to change.
Okay.
I mean, it does make it clear that it's more for indie game developers. They can customize it for professional work projects.
I understand. That makes sense. Well, it is interesting. Anyway, though, let me think. What else was I saying? Oh yeah. It would be really funny though if some like big AAA if like someone poured like AAA amounts of money into a project and they were doing it on a like Unity engine. Like I'd really love to see what they could do with something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be interesting.
If you're gonna do something pretty big, more like AA project, I'd recommend Unreal.
Fair enough. But what I'm trying to say is like I would wonder how far you could go with the Unity engine, but on like a really high budget.
Well, you can go pretty far. There's a lot of good assets on the asset store.
Yeah.
Though if you're gonna do something high budget, at that point it's like, well, why not just use the best tool available that's free?
Yeah.
Game store, it's over there.
Yeah. Anyway, in other news, apparently recently it's been confirmed that for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Nintendo Labo is compatible with it. That means you can build yourself a little like steering wheel or thing with it, and you can play Mario Kart 8 like that. It's a real thing. You can look it up. I'll post a link to the article in the description, not in the description, in the comments later when the video goes live. I promise you guys. If you don't believe me, but I'm dead serious about this. I mean, I don't know why I'm acting so shocked, but I'm just like really kind of like was taken aback from it because I just thought like it'd just be a stupid little thing, but it looks like they're going a little bit further with it, or at least they are with this one game.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think on that? Is Nintendo Labo now 10 out of 10 must own?
I'm not entirely sure about that. I'm not really too interested in Nintendo Labo.
Me neither. I was just joking around.
Yeah. I mean, it could get better, but I can see the kind of demographic they're more marketing to.
I just
more like kids. I mean, I'm more of a computer guy personally. I like taking things apart and putting them together in different ways. To the point I still have at this point 6 computers, 2 of which I really need to get rid of. Yeah, I know I've got a problem. Computer addiction.
Speaking of which, out of curiosity, we didn't plan this topic ahead of time, but out of curiosity, have you picked up anything during the recent Steam sale?
No, not yet.
Picked up a few things, not much, but like picked up a few things.
Arkham games.
I probably should have done that, shouldn't I? But I completely and utterly forgot. Oops. But what I did get was I got a Hat in Time. What else did I get? I got a Vanquish, Binary Domain.
That's good.
Yeah. Binary Domain, and there was one other game I got that I can't remember. What was the other game I got?
Although I do wish they'd get rid of the slow parts of Vanquish.
I only just started it, so I don't know about the slow parts yet, but so far it's pretty great. It's pretty funny when you think about it, how, like, in Vanquish, the punishment for performing poorly is that you have to play a cover-based shooter. It's kind of funny when you think about that, you know?
Well, I thought it was genius, personally.
But it kind of... No, it is genius, but it's, like, kind of says a lot about, like, the third-person cover shooter genre, doesn't it?
That's been done to death. What I really don't like about it is the unknown boss.
The unknown boss? What's that?
It's a boss literally called the Unknown.
Okay.
And if you had the right gun, it becomes boring as hell.
Well,
It
I
becomes
only
a
do, like I said.
breeze. You can watch
Like
any
I
of my
said.
recent playthroughs on New Angle Gamer for that one. The boss just becomes so freaking easy. If you have the right tools.
Well, I haven't gotten to that part, so far it's pretty great and stuff, and
Oh, good.
hopefully it's still great despite that. Is it still great despite it?
It is. I'm still playing it despite that. Remember?
Now here's a question though. Let me try to think. If you had to choose only one to come into existence, what would it be? Half-Life 3 or Vanquish 2?
Well, I would probably say Vanquish 2.
Yeah, probably me too.
And at this point, Half-Life 3's been so hyped up, I'd probably be disappointed.
Yeah.
On some level, but Vanquish 2, I mean, just give us more of what you gave us already. But give us less of the whole, grandmother's footsteps missions. Like where we have to be stealthy of all things. And no, I'm not kidding about that. Stealth in a game like that. Don't give us bosses that you can just turn into a massive breeze if you have the right gun.
Yeah.
I guess fix all the problems with Vanquish, and all of a sudden I would love it. They just give me that.
Do you hate would you say that do you think Vanquish is a good game, but it's good as sort of a start? You could, what I've heard and stuff, Vanquish it's been described to me as a really great game and stuff, but it's it has room for improvement, and it's sort of good as a base building ground. There's a lot of room for it to build up and get even better. Possibly future sequels or whatnot.
It's kind of like Batman Arkham Asylum. It's good as a prototype, but you can build off it.
Yeah. Still, though, probably one of the... I don't know. I still have to give it some brownie points just because, it feels like it's one of the few third-person shooters to actually be a little bit more different than normal, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, be different in a good way.
Anyway, what else is going on? Let me try to think what else are we going to talk
Kingdom Hearts
about.
3 could be coming to PC.
Oh yeah, right. That is a thing. It would be
Kingdom Hearts series finally on a computer.
Yeah. Technically, it's been on a computer because it's been developed on computers, but now it'll be playable.
But now it's officially on Unreal Engine 4, which is good with computers.
Yeah. I do. It would be pretty funny. I do hope they release the other Kingdom Hearts game as well. But a piece of me thinks it would be pretty funny to see people who only jumped into Kingdom Hearts 3 try to figure out what the heck's going on. I mean, I know that's kind of evil of me, but you gotta admit, it would be pretty funny to see people try to figure out what the fuck is even going on. I mean, I played some of the other games, and there are still some things I don't know what's going on.
Don't worry, there's an entire community out there for you.
Yeah. And there's also a 3-hour podcast that was done explaining all the lore and stuff.
Mm-hmm. It helps if you're there since the beginning, but it's not mandatory.
Yeah. No, but it's certainly they certainly make it hard at times.
But
anyway, what was I gonna say? What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Should we move on to how to debate Jaytech?
Was there anything else before that you want to speak?
Let me think for a second. No, nothing. I can't really think of anything at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything.
Well, if you want to start questioning me about Jay, that'd be fine.
Okay. So, I guess the first question is how do we beat Jaytech in the debate? Let's hear your great master plan.
First person I would say is you have to do something that's very... Everyone thinks they do it, but they probably don't. And that's listen with the mindset of discovery. Not the mindset of, aha, you just said that, you're exposed. Don't do that. Mindset of discovery is, okay, I know there's surprises coming at me in this debate. There's going to be something I didn't expect. What are they? They sound similar, but they're very different when you really get down with it.
So how do we adapt to those unexpected things?
Yeah, well, that's really all on you, how you decide to adapt to them.
Fair enough.
And the big thing is you got to keep him talking. So eventually, you know, when you yap and yap and yap like Jaytech does, you're gonna let something loose that you didn't mean to.
So, like, you try to keep him talking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do we do that?
Well, I mean, already it's Jaytech, so it shouldn't be too hard to keep him talking if you really get down to it. But...
Fair enough. And what is our goal in this debate? Is it to get Jaytech to admit he's wrong, or to get him to have like a breakdown?
Well, I would highly doubt you're ever gonna get him to admit that he's wrong. I mean, do you think you would?
I don't think I ever would.
Well, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, the entire debate thing about debating Jay is you got to wear him out.
Okay.
If you think about the way he debates, he jumps all over the place. He doesn't stick to the facts. I mean, he doesn't even really listen to himself half the time.
Yeah.
The main point. Well, there's two things you can do. You can either try to wear him out, or you can just get him to really lower his shields.
Yeah.
And there are a couple different ways you can do that. I think one of the best ways you can get him to lower his shields is to ask questions where the best answer is no, but it favors you when he says it.
Okay.
Now, as to why that works, it's better than asking a question where the answer is yes, because that gets him to put his shields up.
Okay.
No, I mean, as to why that works, it's actually something lawyers do in their own cases. They'll ask a question where the answer is going to be yes. Never ask a question you don't know the answer to, and people really don't like that. They don't like to be cornered. But if you ask a question where the best answer is no, though, well, then people feel in control. They feel secure.
And why is that a good thing?
Well, if he feels in control and insecure, he's not going to be very aggressive, is he? The conversation is all of a sudden going to slow down, and now you've broken a lot of his momentum that he's having.
Fair enough.
Which is the big thing with him. You want to break his momentum.
Gotcha. So,
Yeah, it's going to be harder for him to be aggressive with you, put it that way.
And we need to stay, and I'm guessing that the next piece of advice you would give is to try to stay calm during it, like don't get angry and insult him, right?
Well, yeah, that would definitely be the big one. If you think about all the debates he's had so far, the debate he had with Tenga, for example, I mean, he wants you to ultimately get there and insult him. He wants to wear you out to the point that you lose all patience with him.
Okay.
To put it another way, if you were a sales rep in a store, he's the guy who spends hours looking at products they didn't even want because he wants to wear you out.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So
the big thing is you've got to start exhausting him instead.
But then what? So what should our goal be? Like, or wait, I already asked that. Sorry. What I mean is, what and like,
well,
should we still ask him? What should we ask him and stuff? Are there any specific questions you would recommend?
Well, the questions I would really get to if he starts asking you questions about, okay, well, how does PC do this, or name an exclusive that does this, kind of like you did for Tenga. If he starts asking questions like that, the best response you can give is, well, how am I supposed to do that? Or how am I supposed to answer that? If you notice what you do there, you really put it back on him to keep answering, keep feeding you information, which is what you want, and you're wearing him out at the same time without really doing anything yourself.
Okay, sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Which is perfectly good. That's what you want. Now, what you want is to keep trying to do this, and even keep mirroring him till eventually he says, well, because you just have to answer this question. Once you've done that, you've already met a very good major milestone of what it takes to debate him.
Okay.
Which is to find out what he cannot leave the debate without.
Sounds good. Sounds you definitely thought a lot about this. Like how did you come to these conclusions?
Well, there's actually a very good book on this I can recommend. It was written by a guy called Chris Voss. You ever heard of him?
No, I don't think I have.
Well, he is the former FBI hostage negotiator. Yep, so what he did, he developed all these things with hostage negotiating. He thought, well, if I can do this with hostages, why can't I do this in business as well? Because when you get down to it, negotiating hostage taking, I mean, it's an international business, as cold as that sounds. I mean, they have people who gather inventory, they have people who watch the inventory, they have negotiators who get on the phone and negotiate price for the inventory. It's really just hard bargaining. Get down to it, so why can't it work?
Yeah, that sounds...
I know, it sounds a little awkward when you get down to it, but
no, it doesn't sound awkward. It sounds like very smart and logical.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, so that's where I've learned most of it. The other part I've gotten is just, well, thinking about it. And using something called, actually, tactical empathy. And you can use empathy to really get at Jaytech TV. And when I say empathy, I don't mean sympathy. I just mean actually figuring out, okay, what is the world according to Jaytech? Why does he do what he does? Why does everything that he does make sense to him? What are the stakes for him in this debate that I'm not seeing?
I see, and that's what we need to try to figure out.
Well, yeah, that's the point with every debate. That's why you want to keep him talking. You want to find out, okay, what is the world according to him? What are the stakes he's fighting against? And then, what is the best result for me, based on what I know now?
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's something called tactical empathy, where you make a point of understanding his world.
Gotcha.
And to answer your next question, there is a demographic of people that are naturally gifted at this. They're sociopaths. So yeah, you have to turn yourself into a pseudo-sociopath in order to defeat Jaytech, which sounds good enough. Logical enough, doesn't it?
Alright. Well, I'm already somewhat a psychopath, so I'm sure being a sociopath won't be that much harder.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, it's always good that you're willing to admit where you go wrong. And it's also something that really helps to have tactical empathy when you're dealing with someone that you cannot stand. You have zero respect for them. God, I just hate this bastard. Like, for example, if I was debating Ghazi Kodzo, you ever heard of that guy?
Yeah, he's a Black Hitler, right?
Yeah, someone I absolutely despise. I have zero respect for him. None at all. Well, if I was debating with that one, I would have to say, okay, I have to focus on his emotions, focus on the world according to him. Don't focus on my own. And that takes me away from my own emotions and allows me to really get into him. Oh, with the thought of, I'm going to connect with this guy and I'm going to take him for everything he's got.
My favorite leap in logic was when he tried to argue that consensual sex between a black person and a white person was somehow rape and whatnot.
Okay, good. He's giving you more information that you can use, and in extreme cases like his, you can do something called that's writing him. It's a tactical empathy thing. And see what you do. You summarize everything, the world according to him, and you get him to say, that's right. And that really breaks down his shields. And the reason that works is what you're doing is you're letting him know that I understand your worldview without saying I understand. Yeah, that's important. Never ever tell someone I understand. Because when you say that, they know full well what you're really saying is, please shut up, it's my turn to talk now. But if you summarize their world and you get them to say, that's right, well then all of a sudden you've really made a big connection with them. You understand their world without saying it. And because you understand them on such a deep level, you've really taken down their defenses.
That sounds pretty... Yeah. I mean, I haven't tested it out yet, but like that does sound pretty. Well,
it's worked with a terrorist. That's where it was first tried. And I think it was something that Chris Voss had in his book, where he was negotiating with a terrorist, and this is a terrorist called Abu Sabaya, and this was a head-chopping serial murderer, rapist, terrorist, the kind that would cut your head off, rape you, sometimes in that order, often, and then just send the footage of it to the media. And this tactic worked with him when negotiating a hostage release. So if it works on a terrorist, I'd say it could probably work on Jaytech TV as well. You know, I'm not sure how much worse he is as a terrorist when it comes to leaps in logic, but he can't be that much worse. He can't be that much worse, but...
I'm sure I would say Jaytech TV is better than a terrorist. Like,
yes, I would hope so. I was being facetious there, in case you didn't notice.
No, I thought you were. I was just like giving a sarcastic response.
Okay, good. I'm glad we got that sorted. And are there any other questions you'd like to ask about different scenarios that Jay might bring up? Or, I guess, looking at what the real war is in a different way?
What if like I ask him a question and he tries to turn it around on me and whatnot?
Well, like how so?
Like say I ask like why do you think cross-platform? Like, don't you think what Sony is doing with crossplay is bad? And what if he said, well, I know a better question. Like, do you think having to spend more money, like when Sony added money to PlayStation Plus, was stupid? And what if he says that, yeah, but Xbox did that first or whatnot?
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess most of that problem could be resolved by just asking questions that he's guaranteed to say no to.
Fair enough.
Although if he's trying to, and the best part is you want to keep him talking as much as possible because then you're in control. Remember?
Yeah.
Now, if at any point he actually starts changing things up on you, like he starts, changing what the conditions for victory are, something he does quite a lot, or if he sets up a condition for victory that's kind of hard to fulfill, like name 10 PC exclusives that I would enjoy, well then what you can do is you can do something called labeling. You can start making an observation of it. It's like, it seems like you're trying to teach me that I can't trust you to be straight with me.
Okay, but like
that can take him off his game.
What if he says something like, where was everyone when this happened, or when Sony did this, everyone bitched, but when Microsoft did this, no one bitched. Like, how do I respond to that? I mean, like, do I just say I'm not everyone, I can't represent everyone, or?
No. Well, I guess the best part to do then would be to start mirroring him to keep him talking.
What do you mean by that? Like, can you elaborate?
Can I elaborate?
What do you mean by mirroring him?
Well, exactly what I just did there. Just repeat back the last 3 words of the sentence he just said, or even just the main idea of the sentence he gave, and he will keep talking.
Okay.
And this is especially true with control-oriented people. They never even notice what you're doing.
Gotcha.
It sounds stupid, but there's an entire amount of ideas behind it. It's like those friends that all of a sudden they cross their arms at the same time, they cross their legs at the same time when they're talking to each other, or the couple that walks in perfect sync. When you start to imitate behaviors, they will do it as well, and they'll become more comfortable around you. They'll let their guards down. That's
Makes
why
sense.
Most of the time people don't even realize that you're doing it. And again, ask questions again. The best answer they can give is no. But it favors you.
Okay, fair enough. I'm trying to think. Are there any other questions I can ask?
Like certain situations,
what do I do?
for example.
What do I do if him or one of his buddies starts talking over me?
If they start talking over you?
Yeah.
Well, I'd say the goal is actually to keep him talking as much as possible, but if he's ultimately talking over you, the best thing would be let him do it.
Okay.
I mean, you want him to spout as much as possible, and ultimately reveal something they didn't intend to. Which is what happens.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I guess I can actually do an entire other podcast about this other thing. It's about making people like Jay hear themselves. Which sounds awkward. I mean, people like him, they tend to talk so often that they don't even hear themselves half the time.
Yeah.
So you can actually, when you interrupt their train of thought, like by asking a question where the answer is no, but it favors you, then you get them to relax. You break their, you break their rhythm. You break their. I can't do a word. You just break up their rhythm. You break up their speed, and all of a sudden they're like, "Wait, did I really just say that?" And that's what you want with him.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, momentum. That was the word. It was on the tip of my tongue. I can't believe I forgot that one. I mean, come on. I of all people should have known that one.
We all make mistakes from time to time. So,
that's right. It happens. See, you're learning already. That's right.
Anyway, is there anything else we should? I don't think I have any other questions. If anyone else has any questions, I'm sure they'll ask you in the comments. But other than that, I'm pretty satisfied. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Well, is there any other thing for topics you can think of?
Not really at the moment, no.
I mean, other than that, I can say my final tips for Jaytech TV are like, how am I supposed to do that? And you get that, or how am I supposed to answer that? Until he finally answers, well, you just have to answer the question to win the debate. And then you can actually pepper him up with future questions. Like, for example, okay, well, when I do this, what will you give me? Are you going to concede that this point is wrong? Or are you going to do that? Or will I have to answer more questions? That's part of it. You're making him work, and you're really exhausting him there.
Well, it makes perfect sense, at least to me.
Yeah. Another handy tip for figuring out, okay, what is the best... Oh, sorry, go on.
What if he refuses to answer those questions?
Oh, no, he will. Trust me on that. If there's one thing that you can always think of with control freaks, is they love telling people what to do. If you give them an opportunity to tell you what to do, then they will take it. I mean, Jaytech TV is a control freak. I can definitely vouch for that. He is one of the most extreme examples I've ever seen of it. So he feels like he's in control when he's actually steering the conversation in a way that you want it to go. And he's really wearing himself out in the process. He has no idea what we've done to him.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you see how that works? Anyone?
Yeah. Completely.
Yeah. I mean, if he finally gets aggressive and he says, well, you just have to answer this question if you want to win the debate, you can prep him with, okay, when I answer this question, will you concede this point? Or what happens? What will you give me when I answer this question? And you can wear him out even further.
Sounds good.
To the point that he runs away, or he just has a breakdown, or he reveals something that he really didn't intend to reveal.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And if you're strategic about it, you can get people to reveal what their secrets are. Like, if they have a specific one and you really want to get them, you can use mirroring and the how questions to get at them. I mean, a great example of that would be, I guess, something I did to you at one point. Remember, it was right before the podcast we were doing when we just didn't care about E3. You said you had a secret joke you were going to reveal on the podcast. I said, a secret joke. Yep, see, there's the mirroring. And you said, oh, yeah, it is. It's a joke I'm going to reveal on the podcast. And I asked, well, how am I supposed to know there's a secret there? And you said, okay, fine, I'll tell you what it is. It sounds incredibly simple, but really, it is that simple. It's almost like the Jedi mind trick. You can get people to reveal their secrets. If you just don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Yeah, believe it, human beings are actually a lot more simpler than we'd like to think.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, I think we better end it here before before I have my brain explode by how much you're manipulating me.
I'm not manipulating you that much right now. Yeah. Anyway. No, I'd only ever manipulate the moment when it comes to getting you to talk with me for the podcast.
Gotcha.
I mean, you can try this at home with other people. It's just like, okay, is now a bad time to talk? Or how terrible is this idea?
I've definitely done similar things like that before, but like not.
And
like
you just
so
probably didn't think of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you'd be stunned what people are willing to say no to. Trust me on that.
Yeah.
Because the moment you ask them a question where the best answer is no, well then all of a sudden you've given them protection. They're not committing to anything. They get to feel like they're in control. They get to feel like they have their defenses up. Even if they're giving you exactly what they want.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so stay away from yes, that's the salesman tactic. Just don't do that.
Okay, I will. In other words, don't be a yes man.
Yeah, don't be a used car salesman. That's a bit of a tactic that they like to use, if you haven't noticed.
Gotcha, makes sense.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why people don't like yes that much.
So
Yeah.
sounds good.
Mhm.
Should we end the podcast here now, or is there anything else you wanted to mention?
Well, if there is, I think I'll probably have I'll have to think more on that, because there's a lot more topics we can cover in this sort of how do you negotiate, how do you debate kind of thing.
Maybe we
And
could
so much that even my brain's starting to get a bit overloaded, so I guess we can continue the rest in a different one.
Sounds good. So we'll probably continue this either the next one or at some point. So you guys better look forward to that one. So I've been Papa G with DolphinVi, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Bye bye.
Okay, do you think that one went well?
Yeah, it's not went really well.
Did you learn a lot?
Yeah, I feel like I have.
Okay, good. That was the whole point of it. You know, I have other tactics you can use on your own family if you want.
Thanks. Anyway, I need to get ready for bed now. I'll talk to you more
Okay.
tomorrow. Does that sound good?
Yes, it does.
See you later.
And
Bye.
perhaps we can do the continuation on next episode. Does that sound like a bad idea?
No, it doesn't sound like a bad idea.
There you go. Hey, it's an awkward habit to develop, but once you get it, you see how powerful it is.
Yeah. Well, see you then.
See ya.
Bye.